you've addressed the turnover chain in the past, and Mario's decision there. Is there anything else, since it's out there for everyone in the national media, and it made headlines, and Mario addressed it again? And
I really don't have much else to add to it. I will say this again, for those of you who haven't seen it, I've been, very adamant about it and saying like, hey, it's our culture, and I get it, I appreciate it, I love it, and whether we were winning or losing, I felt like if we're gonna do it no matter what, because then you can take pride in it. Like I said, like Virginia Tech, they're hard, they're lunch pail. You get a turnover, you get the lunch pail. Um, At Alabama, you have the turnover belt that they have used, so WWF World Championship belt with the big A in the middle of it. Even to the point where now Alabama has a chain that they give recruits on visits that says Alabama boys on it. It felt good to be able to be innovative and something else, whether it's the four is up at be in the fourth quarter, whether it's running out of the smoke, which everyone does now, even like high school teams run out of the smoke now. So it doesn't have the same effect that it used to. Um, Even something as simple as running out of the helmet. That was the other thing that people forget. It used to be the big white helmet that you run out of. And on the side, as you're running out, you had the alumni who were lined up, not just the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders were at the end. You had all the alumni next to you, boosters and all that stuff as you're running out of this smoke, and they would let it all build up, and it's like this big wellowing smoke, Undertaker style. And then you take off, and the crowd goes nuts, and boom, you take off and run. It hasn't been like that in a while. The last person that tried to recreate that was Randy Shannon. It just didn't have the same effect because he was there when we went from the Orange Bowl to where we are now at Joe Robbie Stadium. So, oh, sorry. Joe Robbie is what the locals call it. It's Hard Rock to everyone else, but we call it Joe Robbie Stadium. And that's something we take pride in there. So a lot of people say if we were to ever keep any tradition, it's running out the smoke. And I agree. Coach Cristobal was able to say at the end of the day, we moved on, and that's not a part of his program and what him and this team want to be viewed by or remembered by, and they have put that completely behind them. It's his program. Okay, I'm just media. Most of us are just fans when it comes to the program. We're here to support. So if that's what he would like to do, and no longer wants representing the University of Miami's football program, I'm with you, dude. Let's go. Let's go. And I know you've been kind of iffy about it too. You never liked it anyway. So now that it's gone, I guess it's all good.
Well, I will say, and you know this, that I thought it was a really good show when you explained the origin, the history, the culture, and all that. And I always stated it wasn't for me. Like it wasn't for me, but I wasn't judging it to say, oh, get rid of this, because I don't pretend to be able to relate to 20-year-olds. So just because a 50-year-old guy doesn't like it doesn't mean, I should dictate to 20-year-olds what they get into. Of course not, and there was nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it, like morally horrible about it or anything.
Right,
So,
right.
it's a fun thing. I just, from day one, it went through my mind, what happens when they get a turnover when they're down by 4 touchdowns? What do you do with that? That was just the first thing I brought up on here. What does that look like? Because you're kind of putting two things together, like, okay, we have this tradition and this thing that we celebrate, but we're down by 4 touchdowns. Like, even that puts the players in an awkward place where I'm sure some of them could just enjoy the moment, but others would be kind of like, I'm not really into this because we're getting our butts kicked. So, all right, Falconer X, what do you got for us this time? Falconer X, basically the show is brought to you by Falconer X tonight. So thank you, sir. Everybody copies the smoke, not actually smoke, but clouds of a hurricane.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. I love it. It's an experience like none other. to be there, especially when our team is doing well and the crowd is energetic. I remember being at the Orange Bowl. I came from here. I was like, I gotta see, McCain's rolling, man. I gotta go down and see him. So I put some money away, got tickets to the Orange Bowl, and got there. Yeah, it didn't end out well. It wasn't a good product, but man, the atmosphere in Hard Rock that day, it's nothing compared to what was happening in Notre Dame. You just hear stories. It feels like if you happen to be there, you just always will relive that moment. But I happened to be at the Florida game in 2013. But again, that was pretty good. But from what I hear, like if you were close to the field and like the crowd is yelling at you, it kind of felt like, ear piercing to be at that Notre Dame game. That'll always be in the allure of Miami Hurricanes history. Trajan Bandy, the freshman, will take it all the way. That'll always be in our hearts that there. But again, he had the turnover chain after that. But as soon as the next year, the chain started to get a little dwindle. And by 2019, it was about 2020, it was 21. It was just gradual bump, bump, bump. There was this statistical chart. It was 31 in 2017, 27 in 2018, 20 in 2019, and then down to 15 and 20 in 2020, and then by 2021 we had only had 11 turnovers. It was losing its luster.